Coming up on Fresno State Focus, how dogs can be more than just home pets.
Plus the event that celebrated the meeting of tribes. Hello and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Jessica Harrington.
And I'm Alan Weilman.
Some people view being deaf as a disability. A deaf professor here on campus teaches students that in reality, being deaf comes with a new culture. Vanessa Viramontes has more on the story.
I'm going to start with a new unit. We're going to go with unit.
Can you imagine going through everyday life with people judging you because you're different? What some people view as a disability, others view as a culture. Professor Rosemary Diaz was born in Egypt before her family moved to the United States for freedom and opportunity. It wasn't until she was 4 years old that she was diagnosed with moderate to severe hearing loss. Since her diagnosis, her life has been a journey, and she still faces many obstacles.
Facing autism and discrimination against deaf individuals, even without even knowing who I am, without even looking at my intelligence, my thoughts, my heart, my passion. They just, because they know I'm deaf, they automatically judge me.
90% of deaf children are born to hearing parents. In fact, most of the time, a deaf child is the first deaf person a hearing parent has ever met. Katie Carlson has been an interpreter here at Fresno State for 5 years and works with Professor Diaz. Carlson says Diaz has been an inspiration to her. What started as a business relationship simply grew into a trusting friendship.
Professionalism, being a fantastic mom, a wonderful friend, kind of personal, not sure if I can say, but I'm getting married next year and she's one of my bridesmaids. Because she's just been so supportive, she's so positive, she's so fantastic, and we've just been very close to one another through various different means.
Through her experience as a deaf individual, Professor Diaz wants deaf children and their parents to know that it's okay to be different, and there are many communication opportunities.
The important thing is to not use the word or. Give them both. Shower them with language. I use the concept of a water pail or water shower like a hose. Just turn it on full blast, and that water being language. Let the children feel, if you will, drenched with language.
Professor Diaz says she still has to overcome judgment daily, but that being deaf is her culture, and her culture is what she loves. Vanessa Viramontes, Fresno State Focus.
Looking for good food, beautiful arts, and great entertainment? Come check out the Powwow. Super Series Sirianon has more on the story.
Native Americans came from as far as Canada and as near as North Fork to participate in Fresno State 22nd Annual Powwow.
The campus have been organizing this event to bring awareness of indigenous rights and indigenous culture in general to the campus by means of this powwow.
The powwows are gathering for different tribes to come together to show their different dance styles, singing styles, their songs, and their arts and crafts. The event will showcase a lot of feathers and colors. Mejia says he wants to emphasize how much culture this campus has, and he wants to share that culture with the Fresno State community and Fresno community.
I've never even been to one before, so it's like first time experience.
The powwow is free, but you are welcome to purchase amazing arts and crafts from different vendors. While you are there, you should try the Indian tacos. Other than sharing their culture with the public, there is a hidden message at these powwows.
Our goal is to increase Native American education within the community, especially higher education.
If you're looking for a good time, come join us at the powwow. It has food, singing, and dancing. You might learn something new. Super Series Sirianon, Fresno State Focus.
Marketing students are breaking world records with the assistance of an award-winning professor. Lorena Franco shows us how this professor goes above and beyond for his students.
In Dr. William Rice's marketing class, students are doing extraordinary things.
So what they're trying to accomplish is to let people know, hey, we're Fresno, California, we're Fresno State, we're students, and we can break a world's record.
Dr. Rice has shattered 34 records so far. His one role is to instill confidence in his students. He's not only an award-winning teacher, he says he is much more than that.
Well, I'm not really a professor, I'm a father. I mean, I chose years ago that to be a professor. People who are professors profess what? Okay, I'm a person who loves these kids and I want to see them emerge. I want to see them hatch.
Dr. Rice teaches his students how to survive in the business world in a creative marketing way. In his classroom, there are no exams, there are no midterms, they just do. or as he likes to call it,
solo, baby, solo.
Most of his students go out and do bigger and better things. Senior Charles Simmons says Dr. Rice is like a father figure he never had.
I had an office visit with him on Thursday, and we discussed my 5 highs and five lows of my life, and we had a session where I broke down in tears, and he, like I say, he's just a really good instructor and a great mentor.
He has even inspired Dave Villalobos to pursue a career in sports marketing.
Said he is very inspirational, and one thing he did to me was he let me know, nobody's ever told you you have the capabilities. You need that father figure to tell you what you're good at and give you confidence in your abilities.
Like Dr. Rice says, it's not how many weights you lift or how many reps you do, it's how well you compete when you finish the challenge. Lorena Franco, Fresno State Focus.
When it comes to helping the blind, guiding isn't the only thing these dogs can do. Jared Kyle has more on the story.
Most students on campus don't need assistance going from class to class, but for those who do, help can come in the form of one furry friend.
These lovely animals not only help the physical aspect of getting around campus, but they also help create a new social change.
Linguistics major Holly Jensen says she was skeptical at first, but decided to give a guide dog a chance. Her dog Ajax not only gave her the help she needed, but also destroyed the social stigma surrounding her.
Everyone knows how to say that's a beautiful dog, but when you are a cane user, there's something about folks just don't quite know how to relate to you. So what I tell people is that he literally popped the social bubble I lived in.
Services for Students with Disabilities Director Janice Brown says people with disabilities develop a social anxiety that causes a discomfort around people. But with dogs, more people come up to start conversation.
Is the animal versus a device per se really allows them to socialize, which a lot of people, we tend to, mostly out of fear, or not sure how to respond. We avoid people that seem different than us. And so a service animal often, having a dog, just a pet, we know that as just individuals, pets make people feel comfortable.
Gerontology lecturer Dr. William Daly says along with the greater variety of social contact, a guide dog can do wonders with everyday tasks, but difficulties can always rise.
It's actually kind of a nice extension to give you reliability, allows you to be much more mobile in situations. The only difficult times now because of the high security risk, like at airports.
Dogs like Farley and Ajax give a whole new meaning to the phrase man's best friend, and we all should thank them for that. This is Jared Kyle, Fresno State Focus.
Fresno State and the ROTC held their annual Career Day on April 18th in the Vintage Room on campus. Members of the United States Air Force came from as far as Travis Air Force Base to offer up information about the opportunities cadets may have if they choose to enlist. Here today to join us and talk with us about the ROTC is Cadet Colonel Matthew Aldrett. Matt, thank you for joining us.
Of course.
So what exactly is the ROTC and how do students or cadets benefit from the program?
ROTC stands for Reserve Officer Training Corps, and we do just that. We're in the reserves while we're going through college and the program. The program coincides with our college classes, and the idea is as you move along in college, you also move along in the program, and once you graduate, you will then commission, and you'll commission as a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force. And throughout the program, they're teaching you leadership tactics, way of handling people. So the idea is when you get to active duty, you then can step right in, take over a unit, maybe 150 people, and properly lead them without any hiccup whatsoever.
Excellent, excellent. So during the career day, what did you guys hope to accomplish, and what were the cadets expecting out of the event?
Well, as you can see by looking at me, I'm only 23, so my leadership experiences are small. So the idea is to bring in people who have been on active duty for quite some time through a myriad of jobs, a myriad of experiences, and impart that onto the cadets. So cadets as myself that are 23, some are 25, some are 20, gives them insight onto how to properly lead people no matter what job you're in, whether you're flying, whether you're, say, in intel. It gives you insight onto how to lead people from different walks of life, different experiences, different different jobs in themselves require different tactics for the officer, and the idea is Career Day gives us a chance to get that insight from people who are doing that on a day-to-day basis and impart that on us before we get to active duty.
Awesome, awesome. So how would you say that Fresno State's ROTC compares to other ROTCs in the nation?
Well, of course, I'm a little biased, so I would say we're the best, and we've actually been proven the best the last 5 years. They're separated into regions, and then nationally, last 5 years, 4 of them we've gotten the regional award, and out of those 5 years, twice we've gotten the national award, which is pretty impressive considering we're one of the smallest detachments in the nation. We average around anywhere from 60 to 80. A lot of detachments in the nation may have as upwards of 500. So we would go against Embry-Riddle, and we beat them out this last 2 years ago, and they have 500 people. So of course, those stats speak for themselves that we're one of the best, but then personally, because we're smaller, we get more hands-on experiences with our cadre, which is something that a lot of detachments won't do. And so from that aspect, I feel like we come to active duty better prepared and better suited to lead the men and women of the Air Force.
Excellent. Well, thanks again for joining us. This is Matt Aldrett, ROTC Cadet Colonel.
Of course, my pleasure.
And we hope to see you in the skies, Matt. And for more information on the ROTC program, you can visit Fresno State's website, or you can visit the Air Science Building located south of the Aquatic Center.
One Fresno State senior with a passion for music perfected her talent and wants to help others after she graduates. Andrea Cioteco has more details on the story.
Last Monday, Sharon Rogers put on her senior recital. Rogers is graduating from the music program with an emphasis in vocal performing. The path started when she was shown an opera singer on a video cassette that her father brought from Thailand. Rogers began matching her voice to it and started taking voice lessons.
And that didn't last too long because it just got too expensive. But when I entered Fresno State, that's when I was assigned a voice teacher, Professor Weil, and she's been with me for these past 4 years.
Professor Helene Joseph Weil, who Rogers fondly refers to as Mother Hen, describes Rogers as nothing short of extraordinary and says that her repertoire is not of your typical undergraduate.
This is what we would consider a world-class talent. Sharon is definitely the kind of talent that will go on for a top professional career if everything works for her.
Rogers performed works that she's been perfecting throughout her college career in front of family and friends. She defines her senior recital as a major accomplishment.
And it's not about me like singing and everything for myself, but it's for the people.
Being exposed to music at such a young age, Rogers hopes to someday return the favor.
After establishing myself, opening up my own nonprofit organization to teach underprivileged youth about music so they can use music as a way to cope with their feelings instead of resorting to violence.
The future looks promising for this young vocalist. Andrea Cioteco, Fresno State Focus.
If you're looking for a place to hang out on Friday nights, join the Freaks in the Residence Dining Hall. At Fresno State, Freaks are a group of people coming together for a safe and alcohol-free game night. Freaks stands for Finding Responsible and Entertaining Activities on Campus. Dr. Greg Thatcher started the program in September of 2009 so students would have something safe to do. Thatcher says students complained about the lack of activities during the weekends and Fresno's increasingly high DUI rates. The club has all types of critical thinking games like Cranium and Apples to Apples. Freaks get together every Friday night in the Residence Dining Hall and is open to all Fresno State students. Coming up, we take a look at how Fresno State students are living life on the edge.
And in sports, Rachel Waldron talks to us more about Fresno State Bulldogs basketball player who is transferring next year.
Are you hooked? Ladies all over the Central Valley are hooked on Charming Charlie. Charming Charlie sells all kinds of fabulous accessories From toe rings to sunglasses and trendy handbags to sparkling lanyards. And let's not forget about their fabulous boot line. It's the one-stop shop for all your fall favorites. Charlie's Friendly Charmers are here to assist you with all your fashion needs. So get hooked on Charming Charlie, located off Shaw at the Fashion Fair Mall.
Losing weight can be difficult. Byron Harwell tells us how one Fresno State student's weight loss changed her life.
We all get wake-up calls. Fresno State student Myra Henriques received hers in high school. At 16 years old, she was overweight, weighing in at a whopping 210 pounds, her highest weight ever. She had no friends and had to change schools because she was always teased and bullied on. One day, Henriques answered that wake-up call, and it changed her life.
One day, I ran outside in the field, just kept running. I kept running until I couldn't pick up my feet anymore, and I did it every day after school in the middle of the heat, about like 106 degrees, how hot it gets over here.
From then on, she has now lost an amazing 65 pounds, a gym freak. She says it's 70% diet and 30% gym. And the problem with friends, well, she has lots of them and teaching them how to stay fit.
Life has truly become a passion of mine, and it helps a lot that much more when you have peers around you encouraging you. Like my roommate and I, we started about being truly dedicated about 11 months ago, pushing ourselves to beyond limit.
Her friend Lupe says she couldn't have a better motivator and describes her in a couple of words.
A woman that has the drive to succeed and is willing to help others.
So she pushes you.
She pushes me to my limit and actually beyond my limit sometimes. And she inspires me.
Right here, they are doing the pyramid, which they say they could have never done before. You can catch Myra Henriques here at the Fresno State Rec Center. She will encourage all students, part-time, full-time, to come to the Rec Center, show up, and work out. Byron Harwell, Fresno State Focus.
Feel like living life on the edge? Students have the chance to experience that at the Fresno State Ropes Course. Here's more on the story. You might have seen it between the dining hall and South Gym on campus. But what is it? EDGE, which stands for Experientially Designed Group Effort, is a program that offers group-oriented activities that foster teamwork, leadership, and self-esteem. Ropes course director Ryan Soares says the biggest challenge in life is working with people and learning communication skills in a group setting.
This particular course and the things that we do out here really fosters that and creates a practice field for people to excel in those areas.
The Ropes course is the base of the program's operations. At the beginning of the day, students start off with team building activities like the group trust fall. I got to take part in this activity. I climbed up this pole onto the platform, turned my back, and hoped that they would catch me.
Very nice. Let her down. Give her a hand. Good job.
Fresno State student Alyssa Bogary said her favorite part of the day?
Trust fall thing, because you don't know any of these people, and so after you do that, you kind of feel like, okay, now I can do anything and they'll catch me.
By the end of the day, they are ready for the high rope elements, like leaping off a 30-foot pole while trying to grab a rubber chicken. Fresno State students have the opportunity to take part in the ropes challenge by taking a one-unit recreation class. Anyone else interested can visit their website for more information. Here with me today is student volunteer Claudia Morrison to talk about what it's like to working at the ropes course. Thank you for joining us, Claudia.
Thanks for having me.
So you've been working there since August. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved working there?
Yeah, so I actually took a course through the Recreation Administration Department. It's called RA 106. It's ropes course facilitation, and that's kind of like your way into working at the course. So I took that, and you just learn all about facilitation at the course and what it takes and all the technical side of it. And from there, I hope to get a job out of it.
What's your favorite part about working there?
It's hard to say because you do see a lot of different things out of the course, like group dynamics and like setup of everything, but I have to say I love the technical side of it. I love all the knots and knowing how things work. I love that.
And what do you think students can gain from taking the class or
going out there and just kind of, with a group activity?
I think people have a lot to gain. They can kind of see a different side of themselves typically out of the course, whether they realize it then or a little bit later. Out there we focus a lot of stuff on team building and communication and leadership, so sometimes people don't get the chance to be put in those settings, but out of the course we try and foster that so it comes out and they can realize some more stuff about them.
And what's your favorite, obstacle or ropes course there?
Another difficult question because there's so many out there that I love, but I think the giant swing has got to be the best because hearing people scream is pretty awesome.
And some of those are pretty intimidating. What do you say? I know you guys have the challenge by choice. And
yes.
As far as that, how does that go for students who might be intimidated by one of the ropes course?
So when they first come out there, we let them know that everything is by will. Like if they don't want to do it, we're not going to force them because that wouldn't be good. So challenge by choice means that they choose the level of participation that they want.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Thanks again for joining us.
Thanks.
In basketball news, junior guard Kevin Olekube has announced that he will be leaving Fresno State and will transfer to another Division I program for a senior season. In his first year of playing in the Mountain West Conference, he finished averaging 8.3 points per game, the lowest of his career. Olekube released this statement. "One of the main reasons that I had to make this tough decision is so that I can be closer to home and be with my family. I've appreciated the time I've spent in Fresno. It has been a good 3 years, and I'm totally grateful for the experience that I've had." The school Olekube will transfer to has not yet been released. Could this be the turning point of the Fresno State baseball team's skidding season? Fresno State capped the weekend with a 5-game sweep against the Air Force Falcons in Mountain West Conference play. Jordan Brink earned Conference Pitcher of the Week for his performance on the mound. The Dogs are 13-24 overall and 8-10 in conference play. The Dogs' last 7 games of the season will be played at Biden Field before hosting the Mountain West Conference Tournament, which is May 22nd through the 26th. That's all for sports. We'll be right back.
I am Fresno State, and I'm going to show you why. Here's the beautiful and newly constructed Henry Madden Library, which has a massive collection. The Save Mart Center, which is our sports venue and one of the best attended in the entire country. We're absolute pioneers in the agricultural sciences, having led to the production of the first university winery and drawing in a diversity of students to achieve academic success over the past 100 years. And I wish I had time to tell you about everything else, but in reality, I think you're just going to have to come see for yourself.
It's almost summertime, and that means a lot of people will be trying to shed those winter pounds. Here's how you can do it for free right here on campus.
If running on a treadmill or lifting weights in a gym doesn't sound fun to you, how about trying something different? The Rec Center on campus offers a wide variety of group fitness classes. We're not done! According to the Rec Center website, you can build flexibility and strength with Body Flow. You can go for more of a fitness party with Zumba, or you can sculpt, tone, and strengthen your body fast with Body Pump. The group fitness classes come with a student instructor who guides the class through the workout. If you don't think you'll have enough time to make it to one of the classes, you may want to think again. Group fitness classes are offered Monday through Sunday, and some classes start as early as 6:15 in the morning. Mary Jo, a student at Fresno State, says that Zumba is the easiest class for her to attend with her schedule.
Zumba is like every night, like around 5. My favorite instructor is named Philip. He's awesome. He actually motivates me to come, and it's worth it when I come after we're done working out.
Just want a quick workout session? They have that too. Certain classes offer an express version, which allows students to get a good workout without staying for the full hour. All classes are different and offer a range of high and low intensities. Body flow instructor Jessica Farnsworth says she recommends students take all of the classes, but says hers is different.
It's a lot more about becoming flexible. And really working on your core. So a lot of the other classes are more about just doing cardio or just increasing muscle mass. This is about incorporating everything.
Either way, it's a way for Fresno State students to burn up to 700 calories in one session.
Here to talk to us about burning off those calories is UJAM fitness instructor Kayla Wu. Thanks for joining us, Kayla.
Thank you for having me.
So first, can you start by telling us about UJAM, the class that you teach?
Yes, UJAM is a dance fitness program that's actually new to Fresno State this semester. So it's, some have said it's kind of similar to Zumba, except it's got a little more hip-hop feel with a fitness aspect to it.
So how good should someone be at dancing if they want to take the class?
Oh, we take all levels. You could be beginner up to advanced, and the program, you just stay with your fitness level, whatever you're comfortable with. So welcome to all levels.
So I attended the class and I saw your dance moves that you were showing everybody. Where do they come from?
I'd say I got it from my mama, personally, but I've had a little bit of dance experience in high school, and I thought I'd give it a shot at teaching, and I'm really loving it.
So the day that I went, I also saw that there was a very small class because you were substituting.
Yes.
How many people typically show up to class?
Typically to my class on Mondays at 6 o'clock, I usually get around 10 people on average, so it's still pretty new program, so it's still trying to get it out there and market it, so hopefully to grow the class a little bit.
Absolutely. What made you get involved as an instructor?
I've always had a love for dance, and my parents are they're gym rats, so I'm always at the gym, and I figured, why not put the two together, and I found that teaching was something that I was a little naturally good at, and once I started, I just fell in love with it.
Perfect. So just last thing, what would you tell students who haven't been to the class?
I would say come check it out, and you don't have to be nervous. You don't have to have any dance experience. If you're not even into dance, you could just focus on the fitness aspect because it's a really good workout as well as a fun dance class. So come check it out.
Perfect. Once again, Kayla Wu for the UJAM class. For a full list of classes and times, you can log on to the Fresno State website or click on Student Life and then Student Recreation Center, or you can like their Facebook page under Fresno State Rec, Sports, and Fitness.
For the last 10 years, Fresno State has put on the Vagina Monologues. Here's Cody Akers to tell you how our campus has been part of the movement.
Eve Ensler wrote the monologues in 1996. Since then, the play has been staged internationally, a television feature, and her V-Day nonprofit organization has raised over $75 million for women's anti-violence groups.
And it's for a great cause. At first, when I first did it, I had no idea what it was about. Vagina Monologues, you kind of hear, what is that, And then knowing about it, doing the research about it, and seeing it's for a bigger cause, and it's known worldwide.
The V-Day movement events take place between February 1st and April 30th each year. The performance informed the audiences about rape, beatings, incest, genital mutilation, and sexual slavery. And Fresno State continues to help the battle against.
We continue to have the monologues because it raises awareness, it raises funds for local organizations, and it's a lot of fun. And people get a lot out of it, and they keep coming, so we keep doing it.
Glasses, a beret, a leather jacket.
Oscar Perez has been directing the monologues for 3 years and had been involved in the program since 2010. He says he had been involved with abuse growing up with his family, and it's his mission to help stop abuse against women throughout the world.
And I think it's amazing that we do that here at Fresno State. I know that if it wasn't for people like myself that want to do this type of project, sometimes it wouldn't be put on certain years, but that's why I step up to the plate and do it.
Without the help of people taking a stand against violence, 1 billion keeps struggling. Cody Akers, Fresno State Focus.
Receiving a college degree does not automatically result in your dream career. In fact, sometimes obtaining a degree doesn't even land you a job. Professor and PR professional Betsy Hayes and co-author Tori Randolph-Terhune recently published a book called Land Your Dream Career, 11 Steps to Take in College. In this tough economy, Hayes hopes the book inspires college students to get involved and set themselves up for success. For more information, the book can be found online or at a bookstore near you.
And that's Fresno State Focus for this week. Coming up next week, find out who celebrated their retirement over the weekend.
And get your dancing shoes on. A dance-off right here on Fresno State campus.
I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
Do you have your dancing shoes ready?
Well, good thing I've got my dancing moves. You know,
I'm actually participating, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.